Morning, students. Can you hear me? Students, can you hear me? Can you see the screen? Just checking. Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right, good.
Sir.
And can you hear me clearly? And can you see the screen clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right, so we're going to do some revision work today. We're basically entering into exam preparation mode now. And so the majority of these classes on Saturdays will be just strict revision. All right. What will happen as well, remember, right around Boys and Girls Champs, which is in March. March starts tomorrow. We're gonna start having classes face to face on Saturdays. All right. I think the week before Boys and Girls Champs will be the first one, and then we will have classes every Saturday to do mock exams after Boys and Girls Champs. I think during the break as well, the Easter break, we will be doing our SBA. And so all the students doing SBA will come in on one of those Saturdays, and we'll have our meeting, introduce the SBA, and also assign the task to be done. And we only need 1 week for the SBA, 2 weeks the most, but we usually try to get it done in 1 week. All right, all that is required for each person to play their part in terms of completing the task, and I will guide you right through. When we get to that stage, we'll deal with that. All right, so for today, I want to work through this paper that I sent this morning. This is actually the 2023 paper, the June paper from 2023. And we're at the stage now where we should be able to do almost every question on this paper based on what we have covered already in the program. All right, so you should be able to do these fractions questions in number one. Yeah, we're gonna do some work on this kind of consumer arithmetic thing. One day we should be able to do questions like these. This is linear inequalities, which we have covered in class. This is plane geometry, we have covered that in class. This one is some quadratics, we see what that one is connected to the thing. This again is plane geometry with circle and so on, and you should be able to do this one as well. I'm just going through, this is transformation. We did this a long time ago, from in November, December. This is functions. So you see, I'm just skipping through the questions that we should be able to do, at least attempt. And these questions should be strange to us, all the persons who've been in the program since day one. And this is a topic that we are now on, statistics. All right, this is statistics. I know we have not yet completed this topic, but at least we should be able to, get some clear understanding of what this question is about and give it a good attempt. All right, even though we are not finished with this topic as yet, we're on this topic now in class. Going along, this again is plane geometry. This one is solid geometry, and you should be able to do some work on this question. Alright, that's a cone. Alright, so you see, this topic we have not yet done this pattern and sequence. So number 7 on this paper so far is one that I would say, just skip over that one, as I did this morning. I'm going to show you how to deal with questions like this later on. Alright, we don't get to this topic as yet. And then everything in section 2 you should be able to do. Alright, this is quadratics, quadratic function, table. I wanted to draw the graph on that table, state the maximum or minimum point, axis of symmetry, solution to the graph. All these things you should be able to do. This is circle theory. Just finished this topic not so long ago, so you should be able to do that topic, that question. And then we go into this now is bearings. It's a trigonometry question. All right. So you should be able to do this question. This particular one is bearings. Moving down, this is now transformation and matrices. So you should not have a problem doing this question. That's number 10. Right. That is matrices. And then over here is vectors. So you see all the topics, almost everything on this paper you should be able to do. So you will need to start practicing full exam papers, guys. We need to start practicing full exam papers. All right, do the papers, making mistakes, learn from them, get familiar with the questions. All right, so we cannot just stay away from the papers and expect to do well in the exam. We need to start doing full exam papers. All those papers that I've sent into the groups in September, we need to start finding those papers and just working practice from them. All right, so let us do this paper. All right, like when the Saturday sessions are not too long, maybe 1.5 to 2 hours. So I don't know that I'm gonna do all the questions on this paper today. I think what I'll do is maybe start with the most recent topics that we have done and work our way backwards. All right. So let us go to the topic that we're on now. And if you like, I can send you solutions for this paper separately. So anybody wants solutions for this paper, can check me and I'll send you solutions for the entire paper separately. All right, so let's go to the topic that we're on now. Let's do it that way. We'll work our way backwards in terms of the topics that we have covered. So I'm going to start with statistics. Let's see if we have covered enough to be able to do this question as yet. Let's see. This question says, each of 75 girls. Now, everything that they say is important. All right, so you cannot just say the 75 girls here and ignore it. All right, this is the total number of girls that we're talking about, so you cannot ignore that right now. So each means every single one of them. Each of 75 girls record the names of their favorite sport. All right, of her favorite sport. The number of girls who chose track and cricket are shown in the bar chart below. So this is a bar chart showing the favorite sport that was selected by the girls, and they've given us the track one, the bar for the track, and the bar for the cricket. So naturally, we're going to have to figure out the rest for swimming, tennis, and football. All right, using the information that is there. It says, how many more girls, as you can see the word more in bold letters, how many more girls chose cricket than track as their favorite sport? So basically, how many more is this than that? Let's look at the scale. Let's analyze the scale. So based on the scale, this is 2. So every one of these centimeters is 2 based on the scale. Right? So I always have to make sure that we understand the scale. This is 6. This is 10. This is 14. That's a number of girls up here. No, that's a number of girls up here, right? And then this is 18. Let's put the number of girls on top of each of these. So the information is in front of us. Let's put it on top here. So the number of girls for track is clearly 12. I'm going to put 12 up here so I don't forget. And the number of girls for cricket is right in between here. So between the 16 and the 18, so that is 17. I'm going to put 17. It has to be 17. Remember now, it's a count, it's a discrete data, counting data. So you cannot have 16 and then 16 and a half girls. So it has to be that this represents 17 girls. All right, so it has to make sense, guys. So this is 12 girls for track and 17 girls for cricket. So the difference there is 5. Right, so 5 more girls like track than cricket than track. So that's 17 minus 12, which then is 5 girls. That's the number of girls, 5. What go with that? Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
This says 11 girls recorded tennis as their favorite sport. So let's put that on the graph right now. 11 girls recorded tennis. So this is the tennis. We're going to put the bar for tennis and take it up to 11 right now. We're not going to hesitate. So 11 is on this line. And this is the tennis column right here. So this is a column for tennis. And if you notice, you have to put the if it's a bar chart, the bars are the same width. Alright, so making the width over the tennis same as we saw here. So this is the bar now for the tennis. Let's shade it like that. Alright, and that's 11 up here. Let's put it up here, 11, so don't forget. Alright, so So 11 girls like tennis. And it says, for the remaining girls, all right, so for the remaining girls, the number who chose swimming compared to the number who chose football is in the ratio 2 to 1, 2 to 3. 2 to 3. So we need to find out now is how many girls total that is, and this becomes a ratio question. And we have not done the topic of ratio and proportion as yet, but I can tell you something now. Ratios are best calculated using a method where we multiply or divide by constant values to get the information that you want. And I'll just say that for now, and I'll explain when we do the topic of ratio and proportion. But they're telling us that of the remaining girls, and how many are there, how many girls remaining, what we have to do is add up what we have so far and subtract that from the total of 75. And that is that now represents the total for football and tennis, and they are in the ratio 2 to 3. 2 to 3. They are in the ratio 2 to 3. So let's add up these and see how many we have so far. Let me get the calculator. I mean, that's not hard numbers to add up, but still. Alright, let me just add up these quickly. What we have so far. So we have 11 plus 12 plus 17. That's 40. And so the remainder is 25. We have 25 left. I've got 35, sorry, because the total is 75. So subtract that from 75. Total left is 35. Alright? So 35 is to be split now in the ratio 2 to 3. Alright? 35. So down here the remainder is 35. Let's put it here. 35 is split between swimming and football in the ratio 2 to 3. So let's set up and do the calculation right here, let us see. So the ratio of, which one come first? Swimming to football. Say S to F is 2 to 3. So the total of this will be 5. Total of this part will be 5. Total of these two will be 5. If you add the 2 and the 3, it's going to be 5. Now this 5 represents the total if there were only 2 for swimming and 3 for football. But the total is actually 35. So how do I get this total to become 35? I have to multiply by 7. If I multiply this total by 7, it becomes what it actually is, which is 35. Because I multiply this by 7 for it to become what it actually is, I need to multiply these also by 7. So I multiply this by 7, I get 14. I multiply this by 7, I get 21. So it means then that the number for swimming is 14 and the number for football is 21. If you notice, they will add up to 35. And that's a simple way to just do this ratio. As I set up the ratio, introduce the total on the ratio, then I know that the actual total is 35. This is just a broken down total of 5. So to get the ratio to represent the actual numbers that they are, I know that the actual total is not 5, it is 35. What do I multiply 5 by to get 35? It is 7. So I multiply the entire ratio by 7, each value in the ratio by 7. And so now I have my actual numbers for the swimming and the football. Alright, so swimming is 14 girls, football is 21 girls. That's not the only way to do it, guys. So if you have another way that you want to use to do it and get the same answers, fine. Alright, so the question says now, use this information to complete the bar chart above. So remember now, based on this calculation, we know that swimming is 14 and football is 21. Alright, 14 and 21. So that's the calculation down here. So I'm going to carry the swimming bar up to 14 up here. This is my swimming bar. Take it up to 14. And my football bar, take it up to 21. Remember, this is 22 up here now, right? So 21 is in between here. So I'm coming up to there. On the football bar, which is this. The bar for football is this one. football. Let's put the numbers on top them. So up here, remember now it's 14, up here is 21. If you add up all these numbers, we're gonna get the 75. Let's just double check it, just to make sure. So it's 14 plus 11 plus 12 plus 17 plus 21. That is it, 75. So you know that these values are correct. Alright, but good so far? Are you okay with that so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright, good. Now down here says determine the modal sport. The modal sport is the one that the most girls did. The one that has the highest number of girls. The number of girls will be the frequency in this state. That's the most popular sport, the modal sport. So the modal sport clearly is the football, one with the highest bar. So the modal sport is football. Because 21 persons did that, which is more than any other sport. Simple as that. Are you good at that?
Sir.
Alright, let's continue. Down here now says one girl is selected at random. Once you see this selected at random business, you know that it is probability. And you're selecting one girl out of the 75. Alright. It says, what is the probability that she chose neither track nor cricket? So if you chose neither track nor cricket, you really want the girls who chose the other sports. Right? So what were the, this is the track and the cricket that was originally given to you. You don't want one of those. You want one of the rest. So it's really the remaining girls that we want. These and these are the ones that we want. Remember, those added up to 35, if you remember, right? Those added up to 35, 14 plus 11 plus 21 added up. What am I getting? Oh, 46. Okay, so the original calculation included the 11. Okay, good. So the ones that we want is 14, 11, and 21. That's 46. Right? 46. So we want the probability of getting 46. We don't want the track or the cricket. Let's make sure that's what it says. It says, what's the probability of choosing a girl that does neither track nor cricket? So we want the girl who does the rest, right? So we don't want track and we don't want cricket. We don't want any of these two in the middle. So basically we want probability of getting 14 plus 11 plus 21, which becomes 46. 14 plus 11 plus 21, that's 46. So the probability of getting the other girl, which is 46 out of 75. So that probability becomes 46. Let me write the details. It becomes the ones are swimming 14 plus 11 for tennis plus 21 for football. The ones who don't do track nor cricket. Those are the ones that you want out of the total girls of 75. That becomes 46 out of 75. You can leave that as your answer right there. I can see if it reduces 46 out of 75. No, it stays a fraction like that. So you can leave that 46 over out of 75. That's your answer right there. Are you good at that?
Yes, sir.
Good? Alright, so that was a nice statistics question. Well, so far it has another part. It says information on the favorite sport of 75 girls is to be shown on a pie chart. Calculate the sector angle for football. So remember, there were 75 girls and football had 21. Right? And you want the sector angle. Now remember, in a pie chart, the total angle in there is 360 degrees. And the sector angle is going to be, for football, is going to be what fraction football is of the total. Football is 21, the total is 75. So the fraction of 360 degrees for football angle. In the pie chart, it's going to be equal to 21 divided by the total 75 multiplied by 360 degrees. That's your calculation. Alright, so it's a fraction 21 out of 75 times 360. So 100.8 degrees is the angle for football in the pie chart. What good at that? Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so that's a nice good question. Done 9 marks to do that. Nice good question. Alright, good. So the topic that we did before this was plane and solid geometry. So I think there's a plane geometry question on this paper. Up here, let me find it. Alright, here's a plane geometry. So I'm gonna do this right here. And this is a plane geometry question. I mean, it's a simple shape, but it doesn't matter. Doing it, right? So this will classify as a plane geometry question. It's a compound shape. It says the diagram below shows up. See, it's a compound shape. It says it here. It's a compound shape made from two rectangles. It says the length of the diagram, the lengths in the diagram, which are written in terms of x, are in centimeters. All right. So all these dimensions are in centimeters. That's what it basically said. All right. Then it says find an expression in terms of x. When they say in terms of x, it means that x must be in the answer for the length of these sides. No, so they want the length of PQ. They want the length of PQ. No, PQ is this little piece right here. How long would that piece be? Let's work it out. So this thing square up now. So the total length up here is the same as the total length up here, which is 3x. And the length right here is the total length right here. So we can do a subtraction. The total length up here is 3x. Let me simplify it. So we want this length right here. And the total length up here is 3x, as this is. And the total length right here is same as this one, which is x plus 3. So the red piece that we want must be the total length of 3x minus x plus 3. Alright, we can actually show the calculation here. It becomes 3x minus x plus 3 in bracket. Subtracting the entire length of x plus 3. Alright, if you open that bracket, it becomes 3x minus x minus 3. So it becomes 2x minus 3. So this red length right here is 2x minus 3. And let's put on the diagram. Let's take these off. Put it on here. It is 2x minus 3 right here. 2x minus 3. Are you good at that?
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
length,
sir.
you must get back this one over here, which is correct. Alright, good. Let's continue. Next one they want is RQ. Let's work on RQ now. RQ again is this length that they want. Let's ease it out again. So the full length across here is the same as this, which is 4x minus 5. And this little piece right here is the same as this, which is x plus 1. So the red length right here is this whole length minus this. Alright, so the length that we want, which is the one in red, becomes 4x minus 5, all of that length, minus the x plus 1. And then we're just going to open it up. Open up this bracket to the minus. So it becomes 4x minus 5. And then we're subtracting x. And then we're subtracting 1. So it works out the 4x minus x is 3x. And minus 5 and minus 1 is negative 6. So this is the answer right here. 3x minus 6. So this length is 3x minus 6. Let's put on the diagram. 3x minus 6. You can double check it, right? When you add this and this, it must equal that, which it does. Right? You add these two, it must equal that. So you can know that that is correct. So far so good, guys. So far so good. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, good. Next part now says calculate the total area of the shape. Or given that the total area of the shape is this, show that this equation is true. That's an equation. So basically what we are doing is finding what the total area of the shape is, put it equal to this number that they gave us, and when we simplify, we're supposed to get this equation. Alright? So we have those compound shapes, they basically break it up into parts. Right? So we can break up this compound shape by putting a line across here. And then we have this rectangle and this rectangle. Or we can break it up like this. And then we have this rectangle and this rectangle. Your choice. It doesn't matter which one you decide. It's your choice really. Alright? So it doesn't matter. Let's say I'm gonna use it this way. Alright? So the total area of the shape is area 1 plus area 2. Alright, so I can do the calculation here, so it's obvious, it's clear. So it's gonna be that the area of the shape tell us is equal to 414, right? That's what I said, 414. Area of the whole shape is 414. But that area of the shape is area 1 plus area 2 is equal to 414. Well, what is area 1? Area 1 is this length times this length. Let's write that. It says 4x minus 5 times x plus 3. That's this times this for area 1. Then area 2 is this times this. That's area 2. So we're going to add 2x minus 3 times x plus 1 and put that equal to 414. And then it's just a matter of simplifying this expression. So I have to simplify that. So I'm going to copy this down to the next page so we can work it out. Let's copy this and simplify it. So I'm going to put it right here. Put it right here, and we shall simplify it right here. So we'll simplify this. We are supposed to get this equation here, alright? So we have to go and expand this bracket first. How do we expand this bracket? You multiply this first value by each of these, and then you multiply this second 5 by each of these. Let's multiply with the 4x first. So it is 4x times x is 4x squared. Then 4x times 3 is 12x. Then it's negative 5 times x. No, this is not 5, it is negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And then negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. So that's what this expands out into this. Then we are adding expansion of this now. Again, we're going to multiply this 2x by each of these. And then multiply this negative 3 by each of these. Let's go. So this will do 2x first. So it's 2x times x is 2x squared. Then 2x times 1 is 2x. Then negative 3 times x is minus 3x. Then negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And so this expanded out into that. And everything is equal to 414. So just need to simplify this now. And we'll simplify it, we're supposed to get this, as I said. So let's add up all the like terms first. So we're gonna add these two like terms first. That's 4x and 2x is 6x. That is 6x. 6x squared, sorry, right? 4x squared and 2x squared is 6x squared. We're going to add up all these like terms now. These are the x terms. Those two and those two. Now these two is 7x. And this one over here is minus x. So 7x minus x is 6x. 7x minus x is 6x. Alright? So no, that's what we're going to do next. So it's going to be 12x minus 5x is 7x. And 2x minus 3x is minus x. They simplify into 7x minus x. 7x minus x is 6x. So all those x terms becomes 6x. So we're going to get plus 6x. Let's do the numbers now. So the numbers we're consolidating now would be these. What we can do, you see this, if you notice, this has a 0 on the right side. So instead of leaving the plus 414 over here, we can bring it over here and make it a minus. So to do that, I'm going to change this into a minus and put that equals 0 at the end. So like I take this and I bring it over and it is now a minus. So all the numbers now I'm working with would be this, and that. All of them subtract. And we're going to add them up. I must be to the calculator quick. So I'm adding up all those numbers now. We've got a constant values and see what we get. Alright, so that is minus 15, minus 3, and minus 414. That's 432, negative 432. So that's minus 432, minus 432, minus 432. Pen going bad. Minus 432 equals 0. Alright, that's what we have. I just need to simplify this now. Clearly, we're going to divide through by 6. We'll divide through by 6. So we can just, this one we need to know. So 432 divided by 6 becomes 72. So here we'll divide through by 6. Divide through by 6. It becomes the equation that we want. But this becomes x squared. This becomes x. And this becomes negative 72 equals 0. And that basically is it. Any questions there? Any questions on that one? Very good?
Yes, sir.
Alright, beautiful. And I didn't want us to solve it, just get that, right? That's all I wanted us to do. You can ask us to solve it, and the question done. That was a plain geometry question. Alright, now I think there is a kind of solid geometry question that comes next. This one it looks like, right? It's a geometry question as well. Has some plain and some solid geometry in it. So I'm going to do number 3 now as well to revise some of the solid geometry we've been doing in class. Plain geometry and solid geometry. This one says the diagram below shows a semicircle. That's half of a circle. Semicircle. And with the diameter AC. So that's the diameter AC. It says B is a point on the circumference. And it says AB equal BC is 8.2. So these have indications with these lines, meaning that this side and this side is the same on the diagram, and they have now also said it in words. So this side is 8.2 centimeters as well. Let me put it on the diagram. This is 8.2 centimeters. 8.2 centimeters. So that's an isosceles triangle. Alright, it says state the geometric name for the line AB. That's this line. That's a chord. A line drawn in 2 points on the circumference of a circle or a semicircle is a chord. So this is a chord. I told in class that I asked these things. I know you're seeing it for yourself. It says find the value of the radius. So the radius is basically half of this line. That's a diameter. Or multiple ways to do this, right? So what we could do, we could use this triangle, and this triangle is going to be a right angle triangle. Why is this triangle a right angle triangle? Because angle subtended by a diameter, that's a diameter, you know. Angle subtended by a diameter is 90 degrees. So this angle right here, so is 90 degrees. So it's a right angle triangle. And this is the hypotenuse. And the radius is half of this. Maybe that's the easiest way to do it. Right? But another way we could do it is to maybe go like this. And this length would not be the same. Why? Because that's a radius and that's a radius. Right? That's a radius, this length I mean. And this is a right angle triangle. Why is that a right angle triangle? Because that's an isosceles triangle. And that's it. That's this line takes you up to the apex of that isosceles triangle. And this will become the hypotenuse. So you could find the R that way as well. But I think most persons would maybe go and say, okay, this is a right angle triangle. And I find this length and half it, because this is half the diameter. Alright, so we could say the radius, let's set it up. The radius is half of the AB. And using Pythagoras' theorem, the AB is the square root of this side squared plus that side squared. 8.2 squared plus 8.2 squared. That's Pythagoras' theorem. So you do this calculation and that's the answer. That's radius. Simple as that. 3 marks for doing that, you know, guys. 3 marks for doing that. So this was a nice easy question. So it becomes half 0.5 times square root of 8.2 squared plus 8.2 squared. It becomes 5.79, called it 5.80 equals 3 significant figures will be 5.80, and that is centimeters. That is it. Better go to that.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, good. You could try it another way, as I said, by breaking this line down here. Try it this way as well. Somebody break this line down here. That's a radius. That's a radius. This becomes an isosceles triangle as well. That's a radius and that's a radius. And if you find the radius, then you have it. In this case, you would have r squared plus r squared equals 8.2 squared. That's Pythagoras' theorem in this triangle. Alright? And this would be 2r squared equals 8.2 squared. Let me zoom it up and do it for you. Let's finish it since I started already. I'm working on that little red triangle here. So you divide by the 2, so the r squared will be equal to 8.2 squared. 8.2 squared over 2. We divide by this 2. And then to get it, you're going to square root it. So you're going to get r equals the square root of 8.2 squared over 2 squared. And then you work that out. Now the square root of 8.2 squared is just 8.2. So, but you could set that up and get the same answer. Look. So you have the square root of a fraction 8.2 squared over 2 squared, which is 4. Getting a different answer. Alright, so something wrong. Something is wrong. I'm supposed to get the same answer. Alright, let me see what I did wrong. I'm supposed to get the same answer. Good thing I tried another way. So the length is 8.2. That would be a right angle triangle. Because that's a radius and that's a radius. This square plus this square equals that square. That's what I'm doing. So that's r squared plus r squared equals 8.2 squared. That is 2r squared equals 8.2 squared divided by the 2. Oh, it's 2 are dividing by, not 2 squared, it's just 2. So I don't need a square on this. That's a mistake. Don't need that square on this. I must divide by 2 alone. So that under there is supposed to be a 2. We're going to get the same answer. Good. So it's 5 point. Can give me some problems. So that is 5.8 semi 5.80 centimeters. That is it. So just that 2 on here, not 2 square. That's it. Alright, and yet there are other ways to do it. I could use trigonometry and get some angles, right? Because could write that this angle is 45 degrees if you wanted. And use trigonometry and get it again. Alright, there are multiple ways this could have been done. And that's the beauty about trigonometry questions, and there's always multiple ways to do the questions. Alright, always multiple ways. Let's down here. It says each interior angle, watch this now. Each interior angle of a regular polygon. So you see it's a question like I would in class. Right? Polygon question. Each interior angle is of a regular polygon. Now remember, regular means all sides equal, all angles equal, is 160 degrees. Calculate the number of sides. We have done question like this in class. I will do 2 ways. We use a way where we use a total exterior angle, and we use a way where we use a total interior angle. Now, if each interior angle is 60 degrees, it means that each exterior angle is 40. Because remember, no, it's 20, sorry, because remember the total of the exterior and the interior must be 180 degrees. So if the interior angle is 160, the exterior angle is 20, the total must always be 180. So each exterior angle is 20 degrees. And so we can do it 2 ways. We can do it from the point of using the total exterior angle, or we can use it from the method of using the total interior angle. Now, because it is regular, all the angles are the same. So let's do it the interior angle way first, or the exterior angle way first. The exterior angle way to me is the easier way. Right? So we can say total exterior angle is always 360 degrees. Always. And since each angle is 20 degrees, let's say the number of sides is n. Ask for the number of sides. Let's call that n. N is the number of sides. And there are n angles, and each of them is 20 degrees exterior. So it means that n angles times 20 degrees equals 360 degrees. So the n number of sides equals 360 degrees divided by 20 degrees. So it becomes 18. So the number of sides is 18. Right? 18. Because it's comes 36 divided by 2. Or if we use total interior angle to do it, let me make this a little bit smaller. So this is what we just covered in class the other day. Right? So you see, same kind of question I give in class, same kind of question seen on exam papers. So teaching you for the exam, guys. Teaching you for the exam. Could use the method of total interior angle. So using that method now. So this is our OR method, or total interior angle is always n minus 2 triangles. So remember now, total interior angle. Total interior angle is n minus 2 triangles. N minus 2 triangles. And a triangle is 180 degrees. So the total interior angle equals n minus 2 times 180 degrees. And since each angle is the same, each angle interior is 160 degrees, and there are n of them, then the total interior angle is also n times 160 degrees. And that is equal to this. What will this be equal to if you expand it? To be n times 180, which is 180 degrees times n, and negative 2 times 180 becomes minus 360 degrees. If we simplify this, this is 160 n, you know, this is 160 n. And since everything is in degrees, we can leave out the degrees, equals 180 n minus 360. If I transpose this 160 over here and subtract it, I'm going to get 20 n. But this negative 360 I'm going to over here, I'm going to get 360. And then I need to take this 20 and divide it on here. We get the same thing that we have here, so 360 over 20. So again, the n equals 80. So we can do it using total exterior angle method, or we can use total interior method. Total interior angle. Total interior angle is always n minus 2 triangles. Total exterior angle is always 360 degrees. So your choice. And remember, the sum of the interior and the exterior angle is always 180. So if the interior angle is 160, then the exterior angle is 20. They must always add up to 180 degrees. The interior and the exterior angle must always add up to 180. And remember also that the word regular means all sides angles, all sides equal, all angles equal. All sides equal, all angles equal. So it's a typical polygons question. What about that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's continue. Alright, so this is a transformation. We're not going to do this part yet. I think there's a question with a solid geometry, right? So this is some plane geometry. I think there's a question with some solid geometry with a cone somewhere in the paper there. Alright, I just want us to revise the most recent topics that we've been doing. I know we have done this question already, maybe more than once. This transformation question is on the screen, so you know I'm not focusing on those right now. Those functions question we have done. So these are solid geometry questions somewhere. Here it is. So these are some solid and plane geometry in it, right? So this question gives us the net of a cone. It says in this question, take pi as 22 over 7, and the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. I told you in the class that if they give you a cone question, they're going to give you the formula for the volume, as you can see here. So you see what I tell you in class, I'm telling you the truth, right? You see for yourself. Because when I put this on the board in the class, I said to you, you don't have to memorize it. Good to know it. You don't have to memorize it, because if they give you a cone question, they're going to give you the formula for the volume. Alright, and here you can see that. Alright, so that's the volume for a cone. It says the diagram below shows a sector. So it's a sector, so some circular measures now, right? OMRN of a circle with center O and radius 12. So the radius here is 12 centimeters. So this side is also 12 centimeters. That's a radius as well. Alright, that's a sector. And they give us the sector angle as 168 degrees. So remember, the sector is a fraction of the whole circle. That's what the sector is, a fraction. Right? The angle in the whole circle would have been 360 degrees around. 360 degrees around. And 168 degrees basically is like a fraction of the 360 that the sector is. Fraction of the 360 of the circle that the sector is. Alright? So that sector angle is 168, which forms a thin sheet of metal. So that's a thin sheet of metal that we have. It says calculate the perimeter of the sector above made from the thin sheet. Now the perimeter is going to be this radius length plus this arc length plus this radius length. So now put the radius length on it that we know this side is also 12 centimeters. Perimeter distance around. So all we need to work out is this arc length, and we'll add it to these two. So the perimeter, in a sense, let's call the perimeter P. It's going to be equal to 12 plus 12 plus the arc. It's going to be 12 plus 12 plus the arc length. And arc is NRM. NRM. Now the arc is a fraction fraction of the circumference, remember. So it becomes 12 plus 12, 12 plus 12. Plus the fraction of the circumference is theta over 360 times circumference would have been 2 pi r. The theta is 160, that's the sector angle, 168 over 360 times 2 pi r. 2, the pi decimal must take the pi as 22 over 7. So it's 2 times 22 over 7, and the r is 12. And the r is 12. So we write the formula here that we're using for the arc length. We're using the formula theta over 360 times the circumference would have been 2 pi r. So the arc is just a fraction of the circumference. This fraction of the circumference. The fraction is the sector angle up over the 360. And you're going to just put this in the calculator and work it out, right? Let's put that in the calculator and work it out. That becomes a perimeter. We might need to know the arc length, so I'm going to work out this part as well separately. So I'm just do it for the purpose of that. We might need to use this later on, the arc length. So it's going to be 12 plus 12 plus I might need to know what the arc length is. So let me work that out by itself. Alright, so this is when we work out something piece by piece, when you might need that piece. Alright, so this is a fraction, 168 over 360 times a fraction again, 22 over 7, and then multiplying that by 12, 2 pi r multiplied by 12, which is the radius, becomes 17.6 exact. 17.6 is the arc length, 17.6. And you're going to add 24 to this, because this 12 and 12 is 24. So I'm just going to add more 24 to that. And we've got the 29.6 centimeters is the arc length. Is the perimeter. The arc now is 17.6 in case you need it. But it goes so far. Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Alright, good. Down here now. It says a cone is made from the sector by joining OM to ON. This thing up here is now used to make a cone by joining this point to this point. So this side, this piece, and this piece merge. So like you take this flat piece of metal and you hold it in the middle and you pull it upwards towards you. When you pull this upwards towards you, right, this point eventually come and meet this point. And these two lines that we are seeing here becomes one. And then this now becomes the base of the cone, because this point and this point join together. So you end up getting a cone like that. This point is now at the top of the cone because you pull this point up. So this point is O at the top up here now. This is O at the top. And then this arc is now the entire circumference of the base. Right? This arc is now the entire circumference. So like this point is the M and the N merge over here. So M and N merge over here. And the R now is somewhere maybe over here. So right? Somewhere over here, so is the R. The R is somewhere over here. But the point is that these 2 points merge. This becomes the apex. Right? And this arc, put a different color. This arc, what was the arc? Is now the full circumference of the base. And then now, a different color now. This line, this radius, is now this slant length up here. Right, so this that was 12 is now 12 right here. But can you understand that? But can you understand that? What happens? What does that mean here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright, good. And this is called the net of the cone, the flat shape that transform into the shape of a cone is called the net of a cone. The net of a three-dimensional object is the object when it is flattened out, right? That you put together to form that three-dimensional object. This is called the net of this cone. Alright, so see that term, that's what it means. So the diagram they gave us is this. So they put the M and the N here together, and then the O is at the top. Same diagram that I drew up here. Same diagram that I drew up here. Important thing is that this arc, which is this 17.6, is now the circumference of the base. Right? That's what we know, that is transformed. And this length is this length, 12. ON is still ON, 12. Alright, so let's see. Question says, cone so the cone is made from a sector by joining OM and ON as shown in the diagram below. It says calculate the radius of the cone. I want this radius of the cone. To calculate that radius of the cone, we need to know that this circumference of the base is what the arc length was, 17.6. That's what we know. We know that this circumference is 17.6 centimeters. And circumference of this circle is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r equals 17.6. That's the calculation. 2 pi r. 2 pi r. Circumference of the base of the cone. That's the circumference of the base of the cone. Is equal to what the arc length was. 17.6 centimeters. That's how we're going to calculate the r. So the r becomes 17.6 divided by the 2 pi. The 2 pi divided on here. Pen giving me some problems, guys. I need to get a new pen for this device. I'll get a new device. So it becomes 17.6 divided by 2 pi. That's the calculation we're going to do. Remember, this pi is 22 over 7, right? So it's going to become equal to, I'm going to put in the calculator, I'm going to put 22 over 7 for the pi right here in the calculator. Look at me now. So the fraction, I'm going to put 17.6 on top there, divided by 2 times, I'm going to put a fraction on here again, where the pi is, it's 22 over 7. And the calculator works out and tell me that the rest is 2.8 centimeters. I'll go to that calculation.
Yes, sir.
I'll go to that calculation. Yes?
Yes, sir.
And then what we know is that this length is 12. This length is what the radius of the sector was. This length is 12. So we can put the 12 on this. And then now, they're asking us now to find the h. The h. So to find the h, we're going to come and work simply in this right angle triangle. And we're going to know two sides. We know the r and we know the 12. So Pythagoras' theorem will help us to find the h. Alright? So Pythagoras' theorem now, we're going to find the h. So the h is going to be equal to 12 becomes the hypotenuse. This 12 becomes the hypotenuse. So the h is going to be equal to the square root of 12 squared minus the radius squared. And this is 2.8. That's what we're using. Put in the value. Notice, guys, they don't give a lot of space for you to be writing a lot of stuff in these questions. Just put the values in there and work it. Right? I always tell people that they don't give you space for you to do no whole part 3, 4, 5 lines of calculations for these things. Just put the values in there. So the h equals the square root of 12 squared minus the radius is 2.8 squared. Pour that out to the calculator. Let's go. So we'll become the square root of 12 squared minus 2.8 squared. that is 11.7. Three significant figures will be 11.7 centimeters will be the height of the cone. But alright, that
Yes, sir.
they don't ask us on volume yet, because they gave us a volume formula, but they don't ask us anything about the volume yet. Let's see. Calculate the capacity of the cone and what it is in liters. To get it in liters, we have to remember that 1 liter is 1,000 cm cube. So we get the answer in cm cube, we have to divide it by 1,000 to get back in liters. That's what it is. But the dimensions up here are in centimeters. So we want to get the volume in cm cube, and you have to divide that by 1,000 to get it in liters. I want it in liters. So they put liters in bold letters. That is it. Now what did they say the volume was? The volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. What do we have? We have the r equals, what was the r again? R was 2.8 and h is 11.7. So the r is 2.8 centimeters and the h is 11.7 centimeters. So this got to put in the values in this now. So the volume becomes 1/3. The pi is 20^7. The r is 2.8, so that's 2.8 squared. And the h is 11.7. Let's put that in a calculator and work it out. So the volume becomes, let's work it out in cm cube first and then divide by 1,000 to get liters. And I'm leaving this on my exam paper, you know. So I told you that some questions they'll give you this, you know. But in other questions you have to know, like this one, but they don't give you this information, so you have to know. You have to know that 1 liter is 1,000 cm cube. Alright, told you about it in class as well. So those who come to class will see that all the things I'm telling you that you need to know in class, you're seeing them revealed on the exam paper. So I'm really and truly preparing you for your exam, because I'm teaching you and telling you things that you need to know. Times a fraction, 22/7, and you multiply that by the radius squared, and then you multiply that by the height of 11.7. So we get 96.096 cm cube. I want it in liters, they divide by 1,000. Right? So we're gonna put that is 96.096 over 1,000 liters. Alright, so divide it by 1,000 now. And you see it is 0.096. Three significant figure, we put a 1 right there. Liters. That's the answer right there. Alright, is that?
Yes, sir.
Alright, good. Alright, so we have covered some of the more recent topics that were on. What was the topic we did before that now? We did circuit theory. Circuit theory was the topic that we did before the circular measures thing. I'm trying to work our way backwards to the more recent topics first, right? So we did circuit theory. So I can go back to the circuit theory question, which is this one. I think we did this question the other day. I think we actually did this particular question already. No problem, more maths equals better math. Let's do it again. Alright, I think we did this particular question already. I remember the A and the B and the E and so on. I think we did this question the other day, you know. I recent class. Yeah, we did this question the other day. Alright, we did this particular question in one of those recent videos. If you look at one of the recent videos, maybe the last, maybe even the last one, that revised circuit theory, we did this particular question. Alright, yeah, we did this question recently, so I'm gonna skip over this. And let me go down. I did this question as well recently. We did this question recently. This one. you have the three sides, and you have to use cosine to find the angle inside here. So if you look back at one of the recent videos, you're gonna see us doing this question. So I'm looking now for questions that we have not yet done, but I don't want this session to be too long, you know. So I'm looking for questions on this paper that we have not yet done. Alright, I know that we'll do this one already. So look at one of the recent videos in the group, you'll find the solution for this question that we did. So we did this question as well when we did transformation. And matrices, I remember us doing this particular question as well. I would have done this paper as a recent paper. And I'm revising, I tend to use the recent exam papers, right? These vectors, we did these vectors as well. So I'm looking if there's any other question on this paper that we have not yet done. If you find any that we have not yet done, let me start up here. Alright, number one, you can do this question down here. That's alright, so let me do this number one here and number two. Let me do number one and number two. Let me see something. That was number three. That was number three. We just did this transformation already. This. So we do almost all this paper already now, guys, as we did the topics. Right, so I've basically done the question on this paper that we have not yet done. Alright, so we have done the majority of this. But if you look at the recent videos in the group, guys, of a revision class that we did, I have done those questions in the recent times when we did the various topics. So you can go back and look at those videos. So let me do this question number one right here. This question says to find the exact value of this, and you can use a calculator to do it. Just put that in the calculator and do it, right? Just put it in the calculator. Get one of those textbook display calculators. Calculator that can type this in it exactly as it appears there, and just do it. Alright, you are free to use your calculator. Let me show you on the paper. See it here. Required for this exam, electronic calculator. So you use the full capacity of your calculator. Alright, so you get a calculator question, you use it and do it. The question says without a calculator, now they're different. So you're free to use your calculator, guys. That's all numeric. So let's go. So it's 5/6 plus another fraction 2/3. Then you subtract another fraction 12/35. That is being multiplied by a fraction 7/9. And they want the exact value, so don't give them 1.23 now. Give them the fraction value that the calculator gives you. And the calculator should give you the exact value first, which is this one or this one. Alright, so whichever one you choose to give them, they give you a mark. So you can put it 37/30, or you could put a 1 and 7/30. The calculator give you that. Alright, again, you're going to calculate this again with the calculator, and one answer to three decimal places. So you're going to put that in the calculator. It is the square root of 1 minus bracket, put it exactly as I give you. Cos, make sure calculator is in degrees. So look at the calculator, you see the DEG at the top of mine, meaning it is in degrees. Once you're doing a trigonometry question, always check that the calculator is in degrees. That is 37 degrees. I need a square on this thing, square. And that is the answer right there. Make sure you get it exactly as it appears there. And I want it to 3 decimal places. So calculator has given me 0.6018115 and so on. I want to correct the 3 decimal places. I'm correcting up to here. You have to use this value to correct those 3 values. So use this to correct this. It's going to increase this overall value by a 1. The 8 is going to increase this value by a 1. Increase it by a 1, it becomes 0.602, and that is the answer right there. Alright, if this was a value less than 5 and it was 4, then it would have stayed 601 right there. Alright, that is it. Next question says, we have to write this in standard form. Now, some calculators can put this in it and give you the standard form, you know. Some calculators will give you the standard form for that. Let me try this one on the screen. 0.00527 and just press equal. Let me put times 1. And so I'm gonna get more. It's standard form here, so right there. 5.27 times 10 to the minus 3. So some calculator give you that. So you're lucky to have. And the standard form is also called scientific notation. See there? Scientific notation. Alright? So basically that would be it. How do I get standard form from this? No. In standard form, what it is, you want to have one non-zero digit in front of the decimal point. So I need my decimal point to be right after the 5. So it's like I want to take this decimal point. And I want it to come to here. So it's going to have to go 3 places, 2, 3 places to the right. 1, go again. It's going to have to go 1, 2, 3 places to the right. That's 3 places to the right. To get it to move 3 places to the right, you have to multiply by 10 cubed. But to cancel out the multiplication by 10 cubed, you have to also divide it by 10 cubed, or you multiply it back by 10 to the minus 3 to kind of cancel out. So to get it to move 3 places to the right, that is 0.00527. On this one point here, I have to multiply by 10 cubed to move the decimal point. But to cancel out the multiplication of 10 cubed, you then multiply by 10 to the minus 3. These two balance out each other. But this calculation here will move the decimal point for you and put it where you want it. And so it becomes 5.27. That's what this becomes. 5.27 times this now, 10 to the minus 3. That is one way to look at it. Alright, and that is it. But as I said, you're fortunate guys to have calculators. Some of them will give you the answer as you can see there, just give it to you. Right now, what I did, I was multiply by a 1 to create a calculation and then press equal. But some calculators will give you, tell you what it is in standard form. Alright, so that is it. Next question. So this looks like a payroll question. Right? It says Harish works at a call center for 35 hours each week. He is paid an hourly rate of $11.20. So for each of the 35 hours, he's paid $11.20. Alright, that is regular wage. It says calculate the amount Harish earns in 4 weeks, in a 4-week month. So let's go now. Harish work at a call center 35 hours each week. So in 4 weeks, he's working 4 times 35 hours. 4 times 35. That's the amount of hours he works in 4 weeks. 4 times 35, that's 140 hours. And for each of those hours, he earns $11.20. Therefore, he earns 140 hours times $11.20. Alright, so I'm going to multiply that by 11.20. And it becomes, he earns for those 4 weeks $1,568. That is the answer. But good at that? But okay?
Yes, sir.
Alright, Next part now says, in a certain week, this is 1 week now, right? A certain week, which is 35 hours, he works 8 hours overtime. Overtime is paid at 1.5 the usual rate. So the overtime rate is 1.5 times this. So we can calculate overtime rate right here. The OT rate. OT rate is 1.5. You can put 1.5 for 1.5 times the $11.20. And let's work out what that is. That's the overtime rate. Alright, so that is 1.5 times 11.20. That's 1680. So for each hour of overtime, he gets this amount, right? It says find the total amount of money he earns that week. Total amount. So the amount that he earns is a regular wage for that week plus the overtime wage. That's the total. So the total equals the regular pay plus the overtime. OT means overtime pay. The regular pay is how much hours in working a week again? 35, right? 35 in a week at this amount of money, $11.20. So the regular pay is 35 hours. 35 hours times $11.20. That's a regular pay. Plus overtime pay is 8 hours overtime times the overtime rate. That's 8 hours overtime times the overtime rate of $16.80. Let's put a 0 on it. $16.80. Put that in the calculator and you have it. So there's a regular pay of 35 times $11.20 plus the overtime, which is 8 times $16.80. So the overall pay is $526.40. That's the total pay. Alright, that? Are you good? Are you okay with that? Somebody needs to answer.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I was wondering, we think disconnected, I don't know. Alright. Alright, how long we going now? How long we been going? I don't want the Saturday class to be too long. I think I'm gonna stop.
Around 1 hour 35 minutes.
Right, I think I'm gonna stop it there. Alright, because as I said, practically all these other questions we would have done. Alright, already. Let me just finish this one. I'm not sure about these. Let me just finish these and I just kind of scan through and see if there's any other that I believe that we have not done. All you need to do is look in the group, find the video of when we did the lesson. So we did vectors, find the video, or we did the vectors revision, you see the vectors question, same thing for the matrices, same thing for the bearings and so on. We have done all those questions already. Alright, so I just want us to revise on these papers, stuff that we have not yet done. Give the time to things that we have not yet done. Because all the others we would have done them already. So if you need to see them, just go and watch the video. Alright, the videos are all shared in the group. If somebody don't have it, you can let me know and I'll find it and send it to you. Alright, so this one wants us to simplify this. That's just some more fractions to cross multiply on. Alright, to cancel on, I mean. This is 5x and this is 15x. So clearly this cancels into this 3 times. And this 4 cancels into this 4 times. So the answer becomes 1 times 3 is 3 over 1 times 4 is 4. Simple as that. Alright, that is it. 3 over 4 is the answer for that one. We have to solve this. Solve this basically is to make M subject. So I'm going to transpose and make all the terms in M on the right, on the left side. So you solve the same as you would solve an equation with an equal sign here. You just start for the inequality. You have to remember, there comes a point you have to multiply or divide the negative number. You have to reverse this inequality sign. That's a key thing to remember about linear simple inequalities. But take this minus 8, I'm bring it over here. Minus 8m, I'm bring it over here as a positive 8m. This minus 8m is going to stay as minus 4m, it's 4m. I did not multiply or divide, so this less than sign stays less than, is less than or equal to. This 5 is over there, I'm going to leave the 5 over there. This 12, I'm going to bring it over and become negative 12. Negative 12. And this 4m, 8m minus 4m is 4m. Less than or equal to, this becomes negative 7. Then I need to just divide both sides now by 4 to get rid of this one. I divide both sides by 4, and leave it like that. This side becomes m less than or equal to, and this side becomes negative 7 over 4, and that's the answer right there. And simple as that. Simple as that. I just did this question. We just did this one. See if there's any other one might want us to look at. Transformation, we have done this one already. Functions, we have done this already as well. So if you find the functions video, you will see us do that one already. All these questions will have to be done again, so don't worry. And we'll start with a full on revision. You have to do all these papers, these questions over again. So we did this one. And then all these questions in section 2, we would have done them already as well. Alright, when we did these topics. Alright guys, gonna stop it there today. And you guys, if you need to see the
Later.
videos, for the remaining questions, they are in the group. You can find them, you can let me know, and I'll find it for you and send them back in the group, or so I'll send it to you if you want. Alright, but they are in the group. They are in the group. We would have revised and done all those questions already. Alright, or I can maybe just send you a video of the entire paper as well. And maybe I can just do that. This paper, I would have had the solution for this paper somewhere online. So I can send you one video of the entire paper. So you can look at the other questions that we did today. Your choice. But that is it for today, guys. I see you in class tomorrow when we will continue with our statistics. Alright? Statistics of ungrouped and grouped data. So we're going to tomorrow and Monday. Bye, buddy. Bye, everybody. Alright, I'm going to end it now. Nobody said bye. So I'm going to end it now. Bye.